Rich writes in, I was watching the Monday Night War episode dealing with Bret Hart and the Screwjob. Everyone kept saying Bret wouldn't do business and had to be screwed out of the title. Vince's biggest issue was that he didn't want Bret bringing the title to WCW television. Why couldn't Vince have just had Bret hand the belt over to him when he returned through the curtain at Survivor Series just in case? Bret wanted to drop it the next night on Raw, so why not have WWF hold the belt, then give it back to Bret at the arena the following night? If Bret didn't show, they would still have the belt and could make him look bad. Absolutely. Sure, they could have done that. I think the bigger concern was not even so much the physical belt. There was never any chance of Bret bringing the belt to Nitro. That's one of the biggest misconceptions and one of the biggest loads of bullshit that they peddle on these network specials that just pisses me off. It's their own version of revisionist history. It's not true. And you know what? Bret's back in bed with WWE. He does business with them. If he's okay with it, then I don't know why I should get upset about it. But Bret knows it's bullshit. Everybody knows it's bullshit. Everybody who knows anything about what happened and read the different accounts and has heard Bret talk about it and other people who were there knows it's bullshit, that we had no other choice and this guy was going to go on Nitro with the belt and it would have killed our company. He was never going on Nitro with the belt. There was a reason why Bret wasn't on Nitro at all the next night. People seem to lose sight of that fact. I mean, they came out waving the Canadian flags. They did that whole deal, but Bret didn't show up on Nitro until like mid-December. So this notion, can we please just forget this bullshit notion that Bret was going to show up on Nitro the next night, which he never did anyway, with the belt. Now, you're absolutely right. They could have just taken the physical belt and said, we'll give it back to you the next night. We're going to hold on to this just in case. From their perspective, the bigger issue would have been just WCW being able to go on their television show and announce that they had signed the WWF champion. I guess that was what bothered them the most. Do I think that Bret should have dropped the belt? Yes. Just drop the fucking belt. Just do what you're told. Drop the belt. Enough of this bullshit, okay? I'm on their side in that Bret should have just did what he was told. Bret would contend the creative control clause and all that, and then it gets a little messier in terms of what does that really entail. But at the end of the day, he should have just dropped the belt. But you know what? From Bret's point of view, he was more than happy to drop the belt. He would have dropped the belt to the Brooklyn Brawler in Madison Square Garden at a house show. He was going to drop the belt at the next pay-per-view and put Steve Austin over as the next big thing. He was willing to drop the belt. But he should have just dropped it when he was told to drop it. Because at the end of the day, you do what you're told. But this notion that, well, we can't have him show up on Nitro the next night, such bullshit. It was never going to happen. They had options. WWE made their choice, but it wasn't the only option they had. That's one of the things I hated when I watched the special on the whole Screwjob thing. It was like, more than half of this thing is complete bullshit. Parts of it were true, but I couldn't even sit through the rest of it. It was so bad.